واحد واحد. أيوة. Hello.
Alright, I think that should be everyone.
شو هذا الحلو؟
It's meant for you.
مش عارف وين حنكون. وين السبوت؟
هي كلها هاي بابا. هي مش نقطة معينة.
طب هاي طلوع نزول شو؟ لا
فوق اشياء.
أنا مش مصدق ترى. والله.
My name is Malia. I'm gonna be your tour guide today. Are you guys on tour number 11? No. استمتع. How are we all doing today, folks? Great. Pretty well. I'm doing great too. Not that any of you guys are asking right now, but anyways. By a show of hands, how many of you folks have been to the mystery spot before? Just you? When was the last time you were here?
20 years.
20 years. Cool. Welcome back for my returnees. I usually have some good news and some bad news. My good news is absolutely nothing has changed. Okay? But my bad news is the jokes have gotten so much worse since I started. So get ready for 45 minutes, little old me. All right. Now, before we embark on our journey up this hillside over here, I do want to give you guys a little bit of history behind the mystery. So, back in 1939, there's a man by the name of George Prater, and he purchased these 2 plots of land from a lumber company. Now, initially, he just wanted that flat land right over there to build himself and his wife a nice little summer home. However, he was successfully duped into purchasing this hillside right over here. Now, the reason why I say duped is because he was not informed until after the sale that anything he would build up there would just come tumbling down in a landslide. But again, he was still somewhat forewarned. Now, folks, much like my ex-boyfriend, Mr. Taylor, is not a great listener. All right, he did in fact build something up there, and it came tumbling down in a landslide. Huge shock, right? But before he had anyone build anything up there, he did send up a team of surveyors, and they noticed 3 rather mysterious things. So that first thing that they noticed was that heading up this hillside was pretty tough. In fact, it was about 2 times more difficult than they previously anticipated. The second thing that they noticed was that their compasses were going haywire. So east was pointing west, and north was pointing... All right, with minimal prompting, I expected minimal participation. But this is a very participation-heavy tour, so I'm going to have us all ramp up a little bit. We're going to get excited. We still got quite a bit of time together, so let's try that one more time, okay? My boss is sitting right over there. We're going to want to make sure that he hears us, right? So just meet me where I'm at. No biggie, okay? Their compasses were going haywire! East was pointing west, and north was pointing south! All right, I think we're a little bit more excited now. I like that. Okay, now, the third thing that they noticed is this was all taking place in one centralized location, okay? And that is our mystery spot. Now, at the very center of our mystery spot lies Mr. Prather's cabin right there, marking the center of a 150-foot radius circle in all directions, but particularly down between these 2 cement blocks over here and between the trees behind me. So you folks on this side, you are officially inside of the mystery spot. So you might feel a little extra serious, right? And then you folks on this side, unfortunately, you are outside from the mystery spot. So you might feel a little extra relaxed. But like I said, these over here mark that boundary. Now, these cement blocks are to be perfectly flat and level. However, as these gorgeous California redwood trees have grown, so have their roots, thus offsetting these by quite a bit. Now, we here in Santa Cruz, we love our trees. We never ever want to hurt them, so we've done our best to work around them. So what we do is we went to our Monterey, we chopped down a few of their trees and placed them in place for them. Okay, so you might notice that there's a little shade down on the side, but that's just so we can obtain that flat and level surface. But boy, oh boy, how will we ever be able to tell? These are flat and level. It's a level, okay? I'm sure we all know how this works, but I'm going to walk around real quick. We're going to see that bubble moves to that higher end, right? And it's going to indicate to me whether or not there is an incline when I place this down onto a surface. But the main reason I wanted us to see this bubble moving around is that one way that someone could try to rig a level is by freezing that bubble in the center. But we saw for ourselves, it's not frozen. It is in fact moving around, right? So I'm going to take this. I'm going to place this down right over here. And can anyone tell me where that bubble's at? It's in the center, meaning it's level, right? Now another way that someone could try to rig a level is by shaving down one of the sides. That would only work in one direction, so I can flip that around. Where's that bubble at? Still in the center. Now the same thing is going to be true for this side right over here. Now we know you guys didn't pay the big bucks to come and see 2 flat and level pieces of wood, so can I get 2 volunteers that are roughly the same height, or 1 volunteer of any height, to please come and help me out with my first demonstration? Pretty cool, I promise. All right, how tall are you?
5'7".
Do I have anyone who's around 5'7", 5'6"? Whatever. Okay, so I will have you come over to this side. You're gonna stand on this side. You put 1 foot down on each of these planks like your skis. Perfect. Okay. So you guys are looking a little mismatched at the moment. You're looking a little bit taller, right? So I'm gonna use your eyes as my baseline. So your eye line is at about your forehead over here, and then your eye line is at about her nose over here. Can I have you two please swap places for me? And now it's looking a lot more equal. So if you notice, maybe you're even a teensy bit taller over here. Your eye lines are almost perfectly level. So congratulations over here. My condolences to you. I'm very sorry. But round of applause for my 2 lovely volunteers. Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to give that a shot before we move on? All right, you guys will have more opportunities to get picked on later, okay? So this over here, this side is outside the mystery spot, right? I'm standing up. I'm at my full height. Then I'm going to make my way over to this side. And you might notice I'm leaning in this direction by about 3 degrees. It's really subtle, but it's enough to make me look just a teensy bit shorter. Now what's happening is my body is being drawn towards the center of our mystery spot right over there, causing that slight lean. Now the reason why I remarked about the specific angle is because we are going to see some pretty intense inclines throughout the story. So I want to direct your attention to our tiki shack wall right over there with our Life magazine cover featuring the lovely Harding couple. Now folks, there is something rather mysterious going on in this image. Now, the mystery is actually not that 17-degree lean that they're at. And it's not how high those gentlemen's pants are. It is the fact that we looked through our mystery spot archives and we discovered that the woman's name is Eileen. She's leaning, right guys? Just a brief reminder folks, this is a $10 tour. You're gonna get some $10 jokes, right? But don't worry, it is all uphill from here. Am I right guys? Alright, so I'm gonna have you guys follow me up. Like I said, it can be a little tough. So please feel free to use the handrail.
لما بدأت الكوية حطوا البعض
صرنا أطول من بعض. معنا بتحب.
يلا بسرعة بدنا نشد حالنا منى بز ها
2 more miles folks.
كويس
I'm about to stumble down the hill.
اوكي اكيد
بابا بيصور عن جد خلاص بس ما في
All right, I think we're all up here. So, some of you might notice, maybe you're feeling a little breathless, right? Hearts are pumping quite a bit. Don't worry, that is absolutely natural. I do have that effect on people, so all right. But by a show of hands, how many of us found that kind of tough, or at least tougher than we thought it was going to be? Okay, and how many of us found that super duper easy? Okay, so now what you do is you're going to run up and down the hillside, preferably until you start rolling down. That way, just make quits proven. Okay, now I'm going to have us take a look down at that hillside. You guys might notice it is not nearly as steep as it felt while we were coming up. Now we attribute that to the forces of the mystery spot pushing down onto your chest as you make your way up, causing you to feel almost like you're trudging through something. Meanwhile, that switchback right over here is a lot steeper, and people say it feels about the same. We think it's because the forces are pushing down onto your sides as opposed to down onto your chest. So it's not nearly as difficult to breathe. Now, we are going to make our way into this first courtyard, but I do want to give you guys some warnings. There are some mild side effects, okay? And those can include dizziness, nausea, and but that will wear off in about 12 to 14 business days, alright? So, now you guys come on in, we're going to line up a lot.
شو أعطينا زبدة.
إنه يمكن قدام الضيوف أو طلع معدتكم هي عادي ومنحدرة تصير الأعراض بتروح 12 يوم
12 يوم كثير.
عن جد لا تنزل
I literally heard your voice. I was like, really? Yeah, I was waiting for this. I was talking to you.
Do you feel that?
No, I know. Crazy girl. Guys, up there. Could we please just keep scooting down a little bit more so we can get the last few people in here? All right. Perfect. So, I'm going to get started. I love Josie. She's a little loud. All right. So, a lot of you guys seem pretty entranced by this cabin behind me, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But folks, I do have a question for you. Does anyone notice something rather mysterious about the way that I look right now? I'm leaning in that direction by about 11 degrees, okay? But if you take a look around, we are all leaning. What I'm going to have us do to fully grasp that, we are going to turn, we're going to face down the hill. We're going to place our feet together. We're going to stand up nice and tall, okay? You'll almost feel like you're leaning back. Then I want you to take a look down at your feet. And you might notice that they're way out in front of you. I had a man on one of my tours yesterday tell me that was the first time he'd seen his feet since college. Alright? So we're changing lives here. I want us to just turn. We're going to face the opposite direction. Feet together yet again. Stand up nice and tall, but you'll almost feel like you're leaning forward this time. And if you take a look down at your feet, you might feel a lot like that gentleman prior to his visit. Your feet have disappeared out behind you. Now, folks, I have a secret to tell you all. We here at the mystery spot have a connection to the spirit realm. Okay? But if you don't believe me, we're going to keep facing up. We're going to face upward. We're going to take our hands, both of them, we're going to push them out behind us. These are going to be our spirit antennae. Okay? Then just take one hand, either one works, scoop that upward, just place that down on your forehead. This is our conduit. So maybe feel the spirit of Michael Jackson. Thank you guys. That joke's a real thriller, am I right, guys? Yeah. That was bad. Eat it. Thanks, guys. So, let's take a look over here at this cabin, all right? You guys might notice it's slanted, right? But this was not an architectural choice. This was built standing straight up about 20 to 30 feet in that direction. However, the winter after it was built, it was really stormy. It came tumbling down and it stopped right here in this spot. Does anyone have any theories as to why this might have stopped here? Tree. All right, round of applause for the answer, tree. Round of applause. Good. Wow. Unfortunately, that was not correct. I do love audience participation, okay? Gravity is the one that I heard from over here, right? Now, the reason why it can't be that tree is that California redwoods grow about 2 to 3 feet annually. They're some of the most rapid growing trees, lending to its height over there. But that tree's about 25 to 30 years younger than our cabin over here, so it couldn't have possibly stopped it. In fact, this land was also owned by a lumber company, if we remember that, from our little talk down the hill. And they clear cut this entire area, meaning, again, none of these trees were here, and this cabin went tumbling down. We believe that this stopped in the dead center of the mystery spot, the forces that you felt while coming up, and that we will continue to see throughout the tour. But the same forces acting in exact opposition to the force exerted by the cabin on that tumble down, thus locking it into that spot. Now, I know you guys might not believe me, okay, so I do have a very incredible and impressive scientific instrument for you folks right over here. Just a little bit shy, okay? So what I'm going to have us do is we're just going to coax it out a little bit. We're going to do our biggest and our loudest. Ooh, and then an even bigger, and even louder. Ah! And if I see anyone not doing it, you will have to do it on your own, okay? I hold people accountable with my tours, okay? So, I'm going to count us down. We're just going to do a warm-up one, okay? Ooh, I like that. Ah! Okay, that was pretty solid, but I feel like we have a little bit more energy to burn, okay? So I think we can do that even louder for the real thing. Now, what I've got over here is the 8th wonder of the world. It is the finest piece of technology that minimum wage workers could possibly get their hands on. It is the board of Ooh, yeah! Ah! I like that one. That was good. Okay, so some of you guys do seem a little underwhelmed. You're wondering, why am I oohing and ahhing at a piece of wood from Home Depot, right? But folks, this is from Lowe's, okay? So don't worry about it. Folks, knock on this for me. Is this a piece of wood? Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is just a regular old piece of wood. I'm going to place this right over here, and I want you guys to help me out, okay? By a show of hands, how many of you folks believe that this side is higher than the opposite side, meaning it's pointed upwards? Okay, and then how many of us believe that maybe it's pointing downwards? Okay, and then who believes that this is a flat and a level piece of wood? Okay, a lot of us are non-voting. That's very typical of the U.S. That's totally fine. Patriots, shout out my non-voters, I guess. So, what I've got in my pocket over here, it is a special little surprise. It's a second level. Wow. Works exactly like the level down the hill. Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to nestle it into its little home right over here. And can anyone tell me where that bubble is at? It's in the middle, meaning this is a flat and level surface. Now let's say hypothetically I had a round object to place down in the center of this board. What would happen?
Roll.
It wouldn't roll, right? It can't gain any kinetic energy moving in either direction. So I'm going to place this. All right, maybe that was just a fluke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually roll it back. It should stop, right? Ah, hey, go further. There we go. Ooh, ah. Yeah, it's coming right back outside of our cabin. Now, some people believe there's a very well-trained hamster inside of this ball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to and we're going to try that again. I just been a little too crazy about that, though. I moved the board a little. I'm going to roll that back. See, it stops. Why are you doing that? Can you please not do that? There we go. Jeez Louise. All right, cool. Still coming outside of our cabin. Okay, now other people believe maybe there's a motor or a magnet inside of this ball. So I have something in my pocket that I can't magnetize and I can't hide anything in, and that is a bottle of vodka. Right? I'm joking, it's just tequila, alright? Can I have you two maybe scoot down? Unless you want to be in the splash zone, that's all you, but it is. I thought you could spot the employee restroom over here, but pour this in here.
No, it's okay.
And you'll notice it is in fact still coming right outside of our cabin. Now we're going to take a step inside in a moment. You'll notice that none of that is spilling onto the ground in there, but some people think that notch in the center over here is cut at an angle to make things move one way. So I flip this around, and I'm going to give this another try. You'll see that it's still coming outside of our cabin. Now I'm going to have us take a step inside in just a moment. Okay, we're going to line up all the way down the handrails, even into the second room. I'm going to do some safety stuff, and then we'll have time to take photos, and explore. But again, the quicker we get in, the more time that we're going to have in there, okay? So I want us all to use the handrails. You might think you won't need them. You absolutely will. So I'm going to have you guys follow me over, all right? All right, for those of you that are feeling brave enough, I'll have you guys line up either on the walls over here or on the walls right over there. But I want to make sure we have enough room on handrails for everyone to fit inside, all right?
أنا بدوخ.
لا في إشي صحيح.
Okay, I think we are all in for the most part. We're missing just a couple more people. All right, I'm going to get started because I'm pretty sure that those who still remain over here can still hear me. So, welcome everyone into our very luxurious cabin. Now, some of you guys might notice I'm standing at that full 17-degree lean that we saw in that image down the hill, right? Now, you guys are going to have an opportunity to actually come up here and take photos on the table yourself. However, I do want to warn you, I have one major rule, and that is there is absolutely no jumping on or off of the table. Reason being, if you jump on and don't find your footing, you can go right outside of our window. If you jump off, you will not land where you think you will. I've seen it happen. You land closer to the table, your knees buckle from the angle of the impact, and you roll underneath our table. Now, legally, I'm not allowed to touch guests, so I won't help you get back up. But I will also make sure that no one else will help you either, okay? So it's your cross to bear. If you find that you are dizzy or nauseous, although there is a group out there, you guys are more than welcome to hang out in that second courtyard. There are plenty of trash cans for you folks outside. Once Josie's group clears out right over there, okay? Now, in that second room, we've got some pretty cool stuff, including a pendulum that, in fact, swings way further towards the center of our mystery spot, which I think is pretty interesting. Pendulums characteristically swing the same amount in both directions. However, you'll find that as it gains momentum moving away from the mystery spot, it travels a shorter distance because it has to counter that force. Meanwhile, when swinging in the opposite direction, it moves along with that force, thus traveling a further distance. We've also got some more fun stuff like a platform at an exact 90-degree angle away from the lean, thus showing you that it's not the floor causing this lean. Those handlebars right over there serves the same purpose. And also, we've got that fun little step thing over there. You can take sort of Spider-Man-esque photos at the top of that one. Otherwise, you guys are totally good to go. So I'm going to hang out right over here in this corner. If you have any questions or need help with photos, I'm more than happy to help you. Otherwise, you guys are good to go. Have fun and good luck, all right? You are first to your table.
You are feeling straight or you are feeling...
I'm feeling straight. Do I not look straight? You want to do
All right, ready? You look like you're leaning more than this.
أنا غيرت إنه الدخن صار في
نرجع ولا ضل شيء خلاص
Alright, lean forward here. Lean forward, lean forward.
ركنت تعلق هنا خلنا نصورك صورة. صوري صورة. امسكي. هون احسن؟ هاي الغرفة احسن؟
لا اطلع برا برا
منى استني شوي معلي.
لازم تنادي علي. مش قادرة امسك حالي.
شوفي
ما بعرف في اشي بتجربيه.
طب راح اصورهم صورتين
لا
كمان.
لا انسى خلص المهم شفنا ما يبين بالصور اصلا ما يبين تعال لا تقع.
لا بدي هون بس هيك. لا خليني هون. سوري.
Coming down is actually hardly good.
صورتوا؟ وانت؟ وانت؟
فيك تطلع برا اذا بدك.
اوكي.
لا بابا.
يا ريت. والله.
It gets even weirder when you're there. Gee, that's it. Yeah. Are you going up there?
I don't really know what's happening. There's other things where like this is also like the it does. I've had so many tours actually that don't watch. I'm just like, it gets harder. Yeah, it does.
شوف هاي الكرة. جرب امسك الكرة خلي يصورك. يلا. كثير صح؟
It doesn't go even.